Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Mold-Tek Technologies Limited's conference call hosted by Emkay Global Financial Services Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Abhishek Taparia from Emkay Global Financial Services Limited. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome Mr. J. Lakshmana Rao, Chairman and Managing Director, and thank him for this opportunity. I shall now hand over the call to him for his opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Abhishek, for arranging this call. I'm very glad to inform you Mold-Tek Technologies has delivered an excellent result in this quarter with the profits shooting up by 6 times, more than 6 times compared to Q3 of last year. And even compared with the Q2, we are up by about 20.2% in the Q2 to Q3 performance. And also, I'm very glad that our newly acquired subsidiaries started contributing towards the bottom line. In fact, the bottom line from Beryl's 2 months operation, that is November and December, stood at $137,000, which is equal to about 1.25 crores. But we have to write off the acquisition costs of legal, due diligence, and travel, and all those costs as per the new standards. And that's how the expenditure towards acquisition has also been written off in the P&L, effectively contributing only 20 lakhs to the bottom line. However, it in fact, as operations-wise, it is about 1.2 crores in the 2 months of November and December itself. So going forward, this one-time expenditure won't be there, and hopefully Beryl will be contributing handsomely to both top and bottom lines, and our performance may start improving further. And another major decision taken by the board 3 months ago and being implemented is cutting down the automotive team size, which is facing rough weather because of the low traction in automobile industry world over. So the team size from 160, we are dropping it down almost to 60 in due course of time. And some of the people have been retrained in poles and towers and transmission lines where we are seeing improved traction. So this reduction and reorientation of the staff will definitely contribute to cost control and also increased efficiency going forward from it's already started in this quarter, that is the Q4, and it will be fully completed from April 26. So I foresee the future is going to be brighter both in terms of cost control through MES downsizing and increased contributions coming from Beryl. And another good news is we continue to have excellent workflow. The first 6 months of the year was a lot of uncertainty in US, resulting in a lot of projects being held up. But as you know, our company is mainly in civil engineering services. Many companies, people think we are a technology company. We are not an IT company. We are an engineering services company. And it depends mainly on the projects and construction activity in US mainly, because that is where 95 to 98% of our civil services are being provided. So the future looks brighter with all these new developments. And even in MES, we have cornered a couple of MNC clients for on-site placements. We have a mandate to place 30 people in the next 3 months, and if that happens, MES also can turn around into a positive zone from what has been bleeding in the last few quarters. So this being the introduction, I think more we can discuss in question and answers. I request the operator to carry forward with the question and answer session.
Thank you very much. We will now begin with the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touch-tone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Kaustav from BMPL Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for taking my question. So I have a couple of questions. The first one is, could you please explain to what extent can AI negatively disrupt engineering service businesses like ours? What are we seeing? How are customers behaving in this regard? And what are we doing to risk mitigate? And if any, if we are using any AI tools to, make our operations leaner and expand our offerings, reduce time, etc.
AI has no entry into engineering services. Engineering services require a lot of internal knowledge of detailing of fabrication, specifications, and steel and many other inputs. So as of today, there is no entry of any AI operations anywhere in engineering services, at least as far as my knowledge goes. And we use API tools and what is the other one? Tech tools to simplify some of the human operations already. Wherever there's a repetitiveness, these tools are used to reduce the man hours. So that is already there in the practice for the last few years, and it's been increasing. We have now more than 150 tools we use in different situations and different times. At the most, what AI can do is it may help people to use an appropriate API tool at an appropriate time, in which direction we are also working. But replacing the services by AI will not be foreseen in the near future.
Okay, and could you please explain the data center opportunity in the mechanical engineering division, and why haven't we captured much of the opportunity up to date, as data center rollout is not a new thing in America?
Data centers, we have been very active in our civil engineering services. We provide a lot of fabrication support and designing and detailing services to fabricators who are building data centers across the United States. And in fact, we have at least every month or at least every quarter, a couple of data centers, new orders being received. So our entry into data centers have been there for last more than 3 years in U.S. Not much of work is related to mechanical. It is more of electronics and a little bit of logistics inside. So most of the work in data centers is either civil or electronics. And in civil, we have been there and we are growing.
But you were talking about transmission lines, growing your services for that, growing, increasing poles, etc.
Okay, I understand your point of view. That power requirement of data centers enhances the requirement of substations and lines and poles and towers. Yes, that way our poles and towers is looking at a very good traction. What used to be a 20-25 members team, we have currently 60 members and added several new clients recently. And that team might grow at a good pace in the next couple of years, mainly due to the increased transmission lines, poles and towers and substations near to the data centers being constructed.
No, so yes. See, sir, from what I understand from what you've been saying, is there are two opportunities. There's the civil opportunity, and then there's the mechanical opportunity, right? So,
exactly.
Could you try to explain to us what's the total market opportunity in these two, in the civil opportunity and the mechanical opportunity for us over the next 3 to 5 years? Is it a reasonable market opportunity relative to our current business operations that we do? How much growth can this opportunity bring us on a 150 crore revenue base over the next 3 to 5 years? Could you kind of break this down and help us understand?
Yes, certainly. As you correctly said, while direct structural designing and drafting work for the data center buildings is a civil opportunity, The electrical lines, poles, towers, substations, design, drafting is a mechanical side opportunity. While it was single, not even a single digit. Previously, the poles used to do about $400,000, $500,000 a year. Now we are looking at next year it may cross 1 million or 1.2 million, which is a good jump in terms of MES revenues. In the civil side, already many data centers, each data center contributes about close to $500,000 work for us in civil side. And even if we capture 4 or 5 data centers a year, it will be about 2 million to 2.5 million top line growth, which is more than 15% of our top line. So all put together, probably about 2.5 million from civil side and about 1.7 million to 1 million in mechanical side will be able to add to that. That is almost like 20-25% of the 150 crores turnover what we are hovering around.
And okay, thank you. So just last question, if you let me. Could you give us some sort of, as management, what is the real vision for growth and profitability for this company? I don't know if you've mentioned this before, but where would you like to take this company over the next? I understand we did an acquisition recently also for growth. So obviously it seems like this management intend to grow. You all are doing things to grow. But how challenging is it to grow a business like this of this scale? And do you have some sort of a vision in terms of the size of revenue profitability you'd want this company to be at?
Yes, certainly. We have certainly internal targets and vision for the next 3-4 years. And one of our main lines of thought process is to go through acquisitions. The acquisition of Beryl is the first step forward, wherein we have 40 American employees who have been working with us for the last 3 months now, and the integration process is on. Two of our engineers are now stationed in Florida working with the team there and understanding the nitty-gritty of the work and how to make that work outsourced from India, that means our Indian office, to get the cost advantage, because they have a top line of around 5.5 million last year, and hopefully at least if they cross 6 million this year, it will be a 30% addition to our top line. So from whatever 17 million top line what we are achieving this year, next year is automatically more than 23 million, without considering the growth from current operations. Assuming we get at least 10 to 15% growth, which we discussed about data centers, we are aiming at about $25 million top line next year. That is almost 225 crores at the current rate from 160 or whatever we are going to achieve in the full year. 9 months we have achieved 130 crores. So probably we'll be ending this year at around 175, 180 crores, let's say 180 plus. So from 180 to 225 million, that's about 225, 230. We are looking at a 25-30% top line growth with the reduction of employee costs in the mechanical division. And the probable savings by transferring some of the work of Beryl to India and executing it in India at Indian rates could also benefit in the EBITDA margins. So the future looks really exciting. And with the addition of the Beryl team, we not only are getting some PEs and engineers in the team, but also their 15 years of experience in Florida in dealing with inspections, depositions, and also designing. And through these contacts which they established over the state in Florida, we will be able to penetrate our designing and detailing services also at a much higher price because of the local presence and American front-ending. So these benefits are going to accrue definitely from the next year itself, and we will be seeing the margin improvement also in a considerable manner. And your question about 3 to 5 years, we'll continue to grow at the rate of at least 20-25% CAGR on the top line. With our acquisition plan still open, we are also into contact with a couple of steel structural designing companies. That means high-rise buildings, plants, and companies of that cadre. We are in touch with them to see for a probable matching. And if we acquire such company, we will be giving a complete gamut. Today we are only in steel structural detailing and a little bit of designing. By adding the member design and whole project design, we will be one of the sought-after engineering services company. And added to Beryl is bringing in the residential side of civil engineering work, wood and using wood and light gauge steel structures. That is meant for residences and 2-3 storied buildings like malls and schools and hospitals and stuff like that. So now the entire gamut of construction activity will be covered once we plug in one more structural engineering company. So that will create Mold-Tek as a one-stop shop for entire civil engineering services in the United States.
Understood. Thank you so much. Thank you for those detailed answers. Gives me good sense.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Madhur Rathi from Counter Cyclical Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I wanted to understand, we mentioned that we will use our back office or offshore employees to do work for Beryl, but sir, with the new cloud tool that actually destroys what we were trying to do in terms of filings, in terms of checking these things. So how should I look at this acquisition and the offshore presence that we are expected to add from India?
See, basically the work that is being done in the United States, the physical inspections cannot be replaced. Physical inspection has to be conducted by the American engineers who are in the site. But once they see a physical inspection, they make pictures and even rough drawings, which can be made into a CAD drawing, and a designer will work on how to rectify or how to make a new addition to a building. If it's a new building, right from the beginning itself, right from soil engineering till foundation design and then basement design, and then based on that the wooden structure with light gauge steel if necessary. All this will be designed by our team with the help of the front-ending American engineers, because any queries, any on-site questions, on-site clarifications would be taken care by our Beryl team in US, whereas the back office work will be done from India. So that will be a great synergy where cost savings can go up to 30 to 40%. Say, for example, Beryl has last year 8 to 10% EBITDA. That EBITDA margin can shoot up to 30-35% within a year's time once half of their work is outsourced to our Indian office. So that is the synergy we are going to look at, and we are going to use the strength of their marketing team. They have been in the market for 13-14 years. They have been well recognized by many bodies in Florida for their exemplary work in the last 13-14 years. So using their presence, establishing our own lines of steel structural detailing and designing is also a synergy which comes as a icing on the cake.
Right. So what I understood is the permit and approval process that is more of a clerical work that might get impacted, but the main work that we do of design and providing granular engineering services, that will stay. Is that understanding correct?
No. The front-ending means how do you discuss with the client, architect or the builder? Because we are not the builders. We provide only engineering services. So the front end, for example, let's take Mr. Leo Cannon, who is in Florida. He does get inquiries about house design. Somebody want to construct a house. So they approach him through an architect, and they provide architectural drawings, and then our engineers go to the site visit, make the soil testing. That will all be done by Beryl. And after the soil testing, they go with the concrete foundation design, and on that walls and rooms and toilets and all other auxiliary equipment. There, right from foundation design till the MEP, that means mechanical, electrical and plumbing, that is called beam services, we can assist Beryl. For example, 8 or 10 resources are required in the United States to do the job, they may be brought down to 2 people or 3 people who will be front-ending the client and visiting the site and looking at the progress, what the builder is making, and giving us the back office work for giving the entire details, how the wall has to be constructed. You know, in US they use mostly wood and light gauge steel, how the windows and doors have to be positioned, and what should be the section of the wood, what should be, where should you have a electrical connection, where you should have a plumbing connection, where you should have a heater pump or whatever. All these details they need not work on. They will simply give a hand sketch or maybe give a 3D rendering, and our people here will be doing the field detail drawings. So this work of not clerical in nature, again engineering in nature only will be outsourced. Here we will be using civil engineers with a couple of years of similar expertise and who may get trained by the Beryl team who will be start visiting us from March, April onwards for training the team out here. So these engineers will remove the work pressure on the front-end team, and probably let's take 3 to 7. 3 people in the United States can give work to about 7 people in India. So those cost arbitrage is going to improve the EBITDA margins.
Right. So when we say that, can we expect that with the same number of people at Beryl currently, we could do twice or thrice as much as revenue because these people won't have to do the engineering work that can be done by the team in India? Is that a fair assumption?
I would say it is a fair, simple assumption, but that's not as simple as that because a lot of inspectors are there who can do these field inspections, but the design team currently is hardly 7-8 people out of 40. That is about 20%. So the design people are who immediately can make use of our team here. But as the team company progresses and provides faster services, there will be more and more design jobs that can be taken up. So you cannot double or triple within a year, but definitely we can expand at a rapid pace.
Right. And sir, we mentioned that with acquisition we could aim for either structural design kind of work or projects. So sir, can that be done through this acquisition that we have done, or we need to do another acquisition through which we could do this, and this acquisition doesn't sit with getting those high-end work of structural design?
This work also does structural designing. Please understand, this company does structural designing of residences and 2 or 3 storied buildings, or at the most 4 storied buildings. Any high-rise buildings like high-rise flats or plants or aerodromes or such huge activities, this company doesn't do. They are more into residences and low-rise buildings like say max 3-4 storied buildings. So condominiums they do. So these people skill set is different, but that's high-end high-rise building structural designing firm is something a different, not so much different animal, but it is a same skill set with a different experience. So these people also can over a period of time can do that, or we can add few more engineers to do that. But faster way is through an acquisition. So we are open to both. We will be gradually growing our own designing team with the help of Beryl, or we will acquire a design team with such expertise if one is available.
Got it. Sir, I also wanted to understand what is our client mix currently in the civil engineering segment in terms of warehousing, pre-engineered buildings. How does that mix go?
Pre-engineered building is a small portion of our civil engineering services. Our civil engineering services are mainly for high-rise buildings, plants, and structures like I told you, airports, stadia, and stuff like that. Pre-engineered building, metal buildings contribute hardly 3 to 5% of our civil structural. But member design, connection design mainly, is contributing to, now slowly it's coming up to around 5 to 10%, and we are progressively increasing our design team here. Earlier it used to be 7-8 people. Now this year we are 20 and planning to have 30 designers by next year. And we have in-house 2 professional engineers, US certified professional engineers working in our company as of today. And Beryl is adding 1 or 2 PEs. The promoter himself is a PE. So 2 PEs there. So we'll be, now this 4 PEs size, if we add another 3 or 4 PEs with high-rise building background experience, we can add 10-20 engineers here back in India who can support them in high-rise buildings also. That is when you will really see big shoot up in the revenue per person, because that is where the pricing is anywhere close to $80 to $100 per hour. Even Beryl charges around $60 to $80 per hour for the residential buildings. For high-rise buildings, the pricing typically is about $80 to $100 for designing hours.
Got it. And sir, did we mention that we would, on the Mold-Tek technology, the standalone business, we could do a 225 to 230 crore revenue next year, and whatever Beryl does would be the additional revenue that, so.
No, I don't think it's possible to do 225 crores by standalone itself. Standalone currently is around 150. Is standalone? 107 crores in 9 months, so about 140 crores. 140 can become maybe like say 180 to 190 crores as a standalone. 180 you can take it, and then probably $6 to $7 million from Beryl in the year 1, because it's the first year. There'll be a lot of transfer of information and training happens. So I am going with a 10 to 15% growth in the top line. So even we take $6.5 million, that's about 60 crores nowadays. So 60 plus 180, somewhere around 240 crores, 230 to 240 crores we can aim next year from the current level of about 175, 180.
Got it. And sir, on the margin front, where do we see the margins going forward because of the operating leverage?
See, we have delivered in the past itself in 23-24, 17% PAT level and 28% EBITDA. I won't be surprised that we'll be going back to that levels with this increased revenue flow and efficiencies what we created in existing businesses by downsizing MES and adding Beryl. So probably we can still look at a 25% EBITDA margin. Is possible. Right.
Sir, so our employee expenses have increased from 26-27 crores on a quarterly basis to 37-38 crores because of this acquisition. Sir, can we expect this 140-ish crore employee expenses to be the new stable, and that should grow by 8 to 10% whatever yearly price hike is that? So how do we see that?
Yeah, Beryl expenditure is added in this, and that is why the numbers have looked 40% jump. Yes, Indian expenditure, you can take a factor of 10 to 12%, considering the annual increment and increase in headcount, maybe around 12% you can take.
Right. And sir, just a final question from me, sir. How do we look at our business from a productivity per employee perspective, maybe over the next 2 to 3 years? Because a lot of ER&D companies are, we have seen that with the same amount of employees they have done. So if you could just help us understand how can we expect to achieve this, and what kind of productivity do we think is possible per employee in terms of revenue?
See, we are definitely dependent on the work on hand, basically orders on hand. If you look at a year ago, in the beginning of the new government taken over in USA, there are a lot of uncertainties, and the builders are on the edge, mainly the high-rise buildings and industrial commercial builders. They are not going ahead with major projects, or there was a considerable slowdown. That has impacted our first quarter, or even the fourth quarter of last year and first quarter of the current year. And then thereafter, things started moving in US. Construction activity, which was remained dormant, started picking up pace, and obviously the country has to go forward, and now things are streamlining. And last 4 or 5 months we are seeing a major jump in civil project wins. And we being established detailer and connection designer, we have been getting preferred by major fabricators as a reliable outsourcing company. And there we are seeing traction coming in our way. So I'm very confident that the civil will see at least a 20% growth in the next financial year. And MES might stay where it is, but its losses will be pruned out completely. So which will be almost adding 6 to 7 crores to the overall bottom line by pruning down the losses which that division has been incurring. And then Beryl could be a additional winner over this. So going forward, we are very confident that the EBITDA margins and top line revenue growth will be definitely somewhere in, the top line growth should be in the region of 25 to 35%, and EBITDA should at least cross 20% overall.
Got it. Sir, thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Kaustav from BMSPL Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, sir. So, even on previous calls, you mentioned the tariff situation, situation as a dampener for market sentiment affecting the company. So now that there's been finalization of trade deals, what is your take on this? How do you view this?
Yeah, now that the tariff issue is coming to a conclusion, there will be a general, calmness in the markets, what we foresee. Even in US also, I think not only with India, but also with several countries, some kind of clarity is coming up, and hence people will, instead of worried about tariffs, they'll be more inclined to look at doing business. So that is good for engineering services. When the manufacturing wants, they need buildings. When any civil work comes in, we are there. Now with our ability to enter into residential buildings and low-rise buildings, our area of operations are widening. Pre-engineered buildings were already there. So with this kind of scenario, tariff settlement would further add fillip to our growth, though it is not direct bearing. And also, that we have a tie-up with Interarch for supplying buildings from Interarch directly to USA. That relation is still going on. And if the tariffs at 18%, what has been pronounced, are confirmed and settled, we have several inquiries holding on for the supply of buildings from Interarch through Mold-Tek. And Mold-Tek will also gain not only commission, but also all the engineering service of such buildings in the United States.
So for the Interarch business, how does Mold-Tek recognize revenue? Could you walk us through a use case and a potential use case and explain to us how Mold-Tek makes revenue?
Unfortunately, the moment we started with the Interarch, this tariffs problem started. It's about 7-8 months ago we made an agreement. Since then, there was a confusion about the tariffs, and they don't know whether it is going to be 50% duty on the building cost or material cost, or it is 20%. So most of the guys who were showing interest, they just kept on the edge. Now with clarity coming at 18%, I'm sure we'll be start exporting some buildings of Interarch and helping them erect in the United States and providing them engineering services and stamping, which is the agreement. So it may not be running into millions for us, but certainly it can even add few hundreds of thousands of dollars to the bottom line. So that will be a good addition if once the tariffs are confirmed. And if the 18%, I'm very sure there will be positive, demand rise, because Indian construction costs are much cheaper. Fabrication costs are much cheaper than US.
And what's your tie-up with affordable robotics similarly?
With affordable robotics, that is again BAW, and that is not moving much because, as I said, we are ourselves pruning down the BAW part of the division, and the idea was to make the robos affordable and supply them to European car makers or automobile makers where they use European robos. But with this slowdown in the automobile in general, EVs in particular, there seems to be no great movement in that direction. But once the tariffs are confirmed at 18%, Intraj business can start seeing the light.
So is the affordable partnership cancelled or?
Nothing cancelled. It is there on the between both the companies. We are talking once in a while, but not much is happening because the BAW in general has slowed down. The BAW means body in white, where the entire shell of the car is being assembled by robotics. So Affordable manufactures those robots here in India, and we thought together we can pitch for the entire line itself. But given the scenario in Europe and US, where the automobile industry is going through a rough patch, there's not much of scope as of now, at least.
Okay, understood, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Participants may press star and 1 to ask a question. A reminder to all the participants to press star and 1 to ask the question. Next question is from the line of Madhur Rathi from Counter Cyclical Investments. Please go ahead.
Right. Sir, so if I were to track our business on ground in the United States, so for Beryl, what in which geographies do residential market needs to pick up for us to get incremental business or revenue?
See, currently Beryl is only in Florida, and that too working for 2 counties. There are at least 8 to 10 counties, I think, in Florida where they can immediately expand if the work can be handled from India. Then they become competitive, they become faster to deliver, and they will be able to take more and more work. And then from Florida, we can even expand to Atlanta. We can expand to remaining states if we have a proper business model and ability to expand. So it is a very exciting phase for Mold-Tek because it's at the beginning stage. I can't comment about the numbers, but it can be really sizable if we take this challenge and create a strong team in India delivery center. And once Indian deliveries start matching their standards, widening their scope geographically is the easiest thing there.
Right. And sir, sir, 2 questions on our share capital. Sir, what is the status of us issuing shares to Richard Leon, who is the CEO of Beryl? And sir, are there any plans to do a share buyback because with so much happening in our company and we have some cash on our books, why not just reduce the asset base of share capital of our company?
See, first question, yes, Mr. Leo Kenyon will be buying about $500,000 worth of shares, and the DMAT process is just getting completed, and then the shares may be issued in the next couple of months. So he is going to hold on them for a period of minimum 3 years. That's what his commitment, and that ensures that longevity of his services available to Mold-Tek. So that is one, and buyback is an idea we are not yet considered because we are keeping this cash and funds for further acquisitions or even constructing our own campus in Nashik, which has started just recently. Land has been acquired 3-4 years ago. That will considerably save our rental costs, which are running almost 2 to 2.5 crores per annum. So that these cash reserves will be used for acquisitions and building in Nashik rather than using it for buyback as of now.
Right. Sir, that was from my end. Sir, thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask the question. Participants may press star and 1 to ask a question. So should I close?
Yeah, if there is no further questions, you can probably close.
All right. As there are no further questions from the participants, I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
I take this opportunity to thank everybody who has shown interest to know about our company, and especially to Abhishek of MK for arranging this call. And I wish you all a great evening and a good day. Bye-bye. Bye, Abhishek.
Thank you. On behalf of MK Global Financial Services Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.
If you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe to Concall India for latest upcoming con calls.